for sustaining the business, there exist 5 primary revenue models: advertising, subscription, transaction fees, sales, and affiliate. And my next table gives you an indication of what actually these mean. Okay, where you can see an example of advertising revenue model is Yahoo. And what's the revenue source? The company gets paid for putting up advertisements of other organizations. Go down to transaction fee, which EBA lists out. The company charges commissions for enabling or executing a transaction. And finally, affiliate, which is the example is My Points, which is an affiliate model, where the company gets paid for referring people to other services companies. I think there has to be, and everybody acknowledges, the business model is the most important for getting the social networking sites going. Most of the existing online businesses use hybrid revenue models, with most online social networks providing free services to users without charging any fees. There's no way that we'll get on to Google or any other search engine and pay money. It is also apparent that whenever a revenue model is used in an e-business, it is essential to keep the customers hooked to the site. Michael Porter in 1979 developed a framework for business management known as the 5 forces analysis, which examines those forces close to a company that affects its ability to serve its customers and make a profit. All of you, management students out here, must be aware of this framework, and I show you a graphical representation in the next slide. A change in any of these 5 forces listed normally requires a company to reassess the marketplace. Okay? You take a typical, the first one, let's say bargaining power of customers, and you know it's high when buyers have many choices from whom to buy, and vice versa. So as a provider of products and services, an organization wishes to reduce the buyer part. And so typically, if you look at it, there is a threat of new entrants, substitute products, bargaining power of suppliers, and finally leading to competitive rivalry within an industry, which is high when competition is fierce in a market and low otherwise. In India, several companies are using Twitter and Facebook, mass mediums, to understand potential hires and engage with them to tell brand stories. For example, American Express India connects eyeball to eyeball with talent in the social media space, a space the new generation is very, very comfortable with. And you're the new generation. The company has started putting up video job descriptions on YouTube. Employees talk about their role and take potential hires through the company's work environment. For IT companies like HCL Technologies, social network sites like Facebook are particularly useful for niche hiring in talent segments like SAP, PeopleSoft, Oracle, etc. Another example, Ingersoll Rand International uses social media to share information with passive candidates. Passive means those who have posted their resumes on social networks and left them there, so as to speak, about new positions, and gives them insights into the company through posts of staff stories so that the candidates are inspired to work with the company. With millions of potential candidates connected to friends, competitors and colleagues through networking sites, companies in pursuit of this talent pool are now looking to have an edge over their competitors in the online jungle. They're coming up with innovative methods to leverage the digital medium to get a closer and more informal understanding of talent besides selling the brands to Gen Y. Recently, an Indian health portal signed a special endorsement deal with who else? The utterly delectable Priyanka Chopra. Not for her strikingly good looks, but for the 4.2 million followers she has on Twitter. She will tweet about the portal. Celebrities in India, like the counterparts in the West, have included social media like Twitter and Facebook in the brand endorsement contracts, or are getting paid separately for tweeting about brands, as marketeers scurry to reach their online fan base. Twitter is a very big aspect of a celeb's reach. Sponsored tweets are gaining traction in India. Social media contracts, which include Twitter, Facebooks, blogs, Instagram, and websites of celebrities, cost a brand of up to 25% of a traditional endorsement contract with a celebrity. Just going to take up 2 specific aspects, ladies and gentlemen. One is social media as the plumbing for word of mouth. Now, what does it mean? This is a vivid image. Plumbing services are a very important purpose. It brings water to our sinks and showers, and water is an essential building block of life. Plumbing also helps get rid of waste. With this, we hit on the modern question of where digital marketing starts, and I provide to you 2 distinct worldviews which become visible. One, a view is that the internet begins with us seeking information from a central bank of data, the search engine concept. And the second worldview is that the internet begins with the opinions of those in the social space, the classic word of mouth gone digital. Social media sites bring us the information we need to know. An example is that of finding new restaurants. Google, as the dominant search engine, was solely the source of finding something in the era prior to the proliferation of social media, early to mid-2000s. However, as social media has become more ingrained, it can be perceived that it has partially displaced the search engine as the undisputed source of information. Social media can be used to flush out the bad, yet bring items of value to the end user, functioning in the same manner as plumbing. A second statement is most organizations, and a lot of them in this room, are in the media business and they just don't realize it yet. Content is king in digital marketing. We all know that. Content is a central component and the lifeblood to all of your marketing activities. With media, content has always been the king, even thinking about the old media model. Content is what has always driven people to watch a television show, listen to a radio station, or read a newspaper or a magazine. Compelling content is what matters. We can urge people to create content that people care about, even if it isn't necessarily in the area where you are selling a product or a service. Some topics will always be juicier than the others, such as there's certainly a lot of content out there about sports at all levels. If it's cricket, we're always hooked on, whether it is professional, amateur, state, national. Other topics that garner interest, I know it, dating and relationships. The suggestion is to build a following based on a compelling subject matter, produce much of the content to that subject matter, then feature soft sell articles about the product category from time to time in the fashion of an editorial, a common feature in the old media paradigm. This strategy could be a hard sell in a lot of organizations, as many organizations typically operate from the push mentality, which is pushing the subject matter above all, making the most noise they can about it, and hoping that the content rises above the noise. Some might have a hard time seeing immediate results from the idea suggested, and unfocused to the core business content could be seen as unproductive. Typical examples are Guinness, the World Record, and Michelin, a restaurant guide, producing content seemingly unrelated to their core businesses to build brand awareness and lead people down the path towards selling more products. I mean, I said Michelin because Michelin, after all,